Time for 7 First Alert weather.
This is the time of year when it's really tricky to regulate the temperature inside the house because we start with those really crisp, cool mornings. We had some Treasure Valley locations that were in the 30s this morning, some patchy frost for outlying areas. And then into the afternoon, it gets so warm that it warms things up within the house and you don't need the heater until you head into the overnight hours. So if anybody else is going back and forth with the thermostat and trying to flick things on and off, that's what's going on. We're all doing it for sure to keep the temperature at a good level in the house with these big swings in temperatures. You just don't know when it's time to turn the heater on full blast just yet. This would be the time of the year when we would be doing that heater thing full time, but still 65 degrees is our average high. We were almost 15 degrees above that in most locations today, and still not a drop of precipitation to speak of for the month of October. Now, we take a look at the temperatures across the country today. Worth mentioning that Salem, Oregon made it to 92 degrees this afternoon. Their average high for Salem, 65 for this time of year. You see that cooler, more seasonable air not far from us, just to the east of us, but because of this big high pressure ridge that's holding out over the west, it's keeping our conditions dry. We get a lot of sunshine. It also isn't helping to mix out much of the smoke that's still coming from area wildfires, most of that really worsening air quality around the Puget Sound area, but it is also keeping our temperatures well above average for this time of year. And look how far north that ridge really extends for the next couple of days. It even strengthens into the middle of the week, and then eventually it starts to break down. And as it breaks down, it makes way for some changes to come into place. And so you're looking at this is the heights contour, so just pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere. We get a big dip in the jet stream to allow for some of that cooler air to come into play for us next weekend, and also unsettled conditions as well. Weather timeline through the overnight hours heading into the 40s again, and for some of the cooler outlying areas, even the 30s tomorrow. Magic Valley forecast wrapping up the afternoon in the low 70s. So very comfortable. Even our mountain valleys close to 70 degrees tomorrow for highs. And in Long Valley, we've actually seen high temperatures exceed the forecast highs. So perhaps even some mid-70s on the board tomorrow, mid to upper 70s for the lower Treasure Valley, and a similar story for the upper Treasure Valley with a forecast high for Boise of 75 degrees. So as we get those changes, this is what it looks like. And finally, tracking some precipitation in the forecast. Friday, 75 degrees for a high in Boise, but you start to see that cooler air coming into play from the northwest, and eventually some showery weather. Could even be some mountain snow starting to, I want to say pile up, but you know, beginning of the season, we'll get there eventually. And also because of that cool down next weekend, we're expecting that cooler, more seasonable air to stick around with us, and we could be in for our first valley widespread frost as we get into next week, not this coming week, but a week from this Monday. So as we take a look at the long-range forecast, maybe I should just start to focus on the next 7 days only. What I'm trying to say is these days in the 70s are numbered, so enjoy them while we have them around, Shira.
Sounds good. Yeah, you mentioned the thermostat and changing it back and forth. I've definitely been doing that. Thanks, Bree.